Hi students, this is Dr. Winterbottom. I want to talk with you for a few minutes about cause and effect. This is in chapter 9 of our book. So I want to share some details with you about cause and effect writing, and then I want to tell you about a discussion board prompt that asks you to discuss content from a source. I'm going to give you the source, and then practice referring to facts and information from that source. And then I'll begin to discuss the final paper assignment. Okay, a cause is someone or something that makes something happen. An effect is something brought about by a particular cause. Pretty straightforward. Cause and effect writing examines or analyzes reasons and results. It helps readers understand why something happened or is happening, or shows how one thing affects another. Writing strategy focus, explaining causes and effects. This is a section of chapter 9 in our book, and one of the things I'm doing in this video presentation is hitting upon sort of the key ideas, the key parts of the chapter that I want you to be aware of. Because human beings are so curious, we often wonder why something has occurred. When we ask why, we are looking for reasons, causes that have led to a particular result or effect. Other times, we might wonder about the effects of a particular situation or event. Analyzing causes and effects, known as causal analysis, has many applications in your education, your personal life, and career. A real-world event that involves cause and effect is something that happens every year in November. Now, this is something that is not in our book, but it's an example that I discovered a few years ago and began to learn more about. Hundreds of cold-stunned sea turtles wash up on the beaches of Cape Cod every year in November. Climate change is driving many environmental events today, such as forest fires, rising sea levels, melting of glaciers, and changes in weather patterns and ocean temperatures. These changes can confuse migratory animals. So as you can probably guess from the pictures of sea turtles, that is something that we're going to be learning a little bit more about. Okay, why is this happening? What causes these mass strandings? Well, sea turtles are tropical animals. In the summer, they follow their food supply, and as northern waters become warmer, sea turtles come north. As the waters cool in the fall, the sea turtles turn around and begin heading south. But the geography of Cape Cod is a problem for them. They get caught in the hook of the Cape. Then the water temperatures drop suddenly. Turtles are ectothermic. Sudden drops in temperature impair their body functions. So you're going to notice in the weekly folder that I posted 4 short videos called Cold Stunned Parts 1 through 4. This is in the week 12 folder. Please watch those 4 videos. They are very short. Each of them is about 2 or 3 minutes long. These short videos form a documentary that shows and explains the causes and effects of these mass strandings of cold-stunned sea turtles and what animal conservationists are doing about it. And here is a little diagram that I made showing you the geography of Cape Cod, and what happens is that these turtles in the summertime they swim up past Massachusetts, so they're actually coming pretty far north now. And then when it starts to get colder, they try to go back south and they get stuck in this hook of the Cape. And of course, because they are ectothermic, they get stunned. They get cold stunned. Okay, so um, I also want to call your attention to a few more sections from the chapter 9 in our textbook, which is about cause and effect writing. So as I said before, it would be very useful for you to read the chapter, and I'm providing a link to the chapter reading on Blackboard. However, I'm going to hit all the key points here in my presentation. All right, so section 9.2, qualities of effective cause and effect writing. Begin by identifying the cause or effect you are analyzing. Start with an attention getter that relates to your main topic. Statistics, a story, thesis statement. You're going to want to have a thesis statement that gives readers a clear indication of the focus. Explain the cause and effect relationship convincingly. Don't assume that your readers will automatically accept the cause and effect relationship. You have to illustrate that the connection exists by presenting your ideas logically and fully supporting your thesis. So, part of why I'm telling you about this relates to the discussion board prompt we're going to do this week, but all of this is going to support you moving towards the final research paper that you're going to be writing very soon. So be thinking about this advice about cause and effect writing, because it will help you work when you're working on the final research paper. Okay, so a little bit more from that section 9.2 about the qualities of effective cause and effect writing. Organize the causes and or effects effectively. There are three main patterns for organizing a cause and effect essay. You might focus on the effects of a major cause, the causes for a major effect, or a chain of events that illustrates the causes or effects. And as a side note, you could also discuss this kind of thing in terms of a process as well, which is another chapter in our book. Okay, outline showing the effects of a major cause. Take a look at the outline patterns shown on page 213. So there are three outline patterns for those three different approaches. They show you an outline showing the effects of a major cause, an outline showing the causes for a major effect, and then an outline for a causal chain of events. Okay, use sound logic. Avoid logical fallacies in your causal analysis. You don't want to jump to an erroneous conclusion about a cause and effect relationship. Don't confuse timing with causation. Just because one thing happens before another doesn't mean the first thing necessarily caused the second. Double check your claims and make sure they are logical. Conclude effectively. Find a fresh way to restate your main idea and summarize your main points. Be careful not to overgeneralize in your causal analysis. Measured statements are often more convincing than exaggerated ones. End with a memorable statement. Now, I also have some thoughts to share about how to write a meaningful conclusion. So these are my own thoughts as an aside. There are many creative things that you can do in a conclusion. You could make a forward-looking statement, speak to what might happen next, make an appeal to action, share a vivid image that has symbolic meaning, suggest work that still needs to be done, or reflect on how your research has changed your perspective. The challenge is to cement your main points without being repetitive. You want to give the reader something in the conclusion that's continuing to add value. You don't want to just repeat yourself in the conclusion. Okay, for our discussion board post this week, I want you to please watch the 4 short videos called Cold Stunned and look at the articles about the sea turtles being rescued on Cape Cod. So I'll be posting at least a link to the website for the Mass Audubon Wellfleet Center, which that's the Massachusetts Audubon office that is sort of in charge of all of this, taking care of these turtles, rescuing them. And they have a page on their website that talks about what to do if you were to find one of these turtles on the beach. And if I can find another article that's related to like local news about this, I will also supply that as a link in the folder on Blackboard. Okay, so again, for the discussion board post, what you're going to do is watch the 4 short videos called Cold Stunned. Make 3 statements about what is happening and why. So you're thinking about cause and effect, right? Clearly refer to the source you relied upon. I will show you how to do that. You need to practice referring to sources and citing sources for the final research paper. And I'll just say one more thing. By the way, authors frequently use more than one rhetorical mode when they write essays about things happening in the world. A topic like this involves not only cause and effect, but also process, and narrative and descriptive writing would also be useful and appropriate. Okay, so I'm going to pause this here, but I do have a little bit more advice about referring to sources, so I'll make a second video about that. Thank you.